Welcome back, friends. We are Taylor, Kristen, and Little Man Baker, set on a journey to find our forever homestead. Watch along as we travel parts of the country, embracing a simpler life and following wherever God may lead.
On this week's episode of Journey to Homestead, we're going to talk about tanks. Everything about gray tanks, black tanks, freshwater tanks. So we're going to do filling freshwater, draining gray and black, and everything that goes along with it. First we got to start by hooking up the black water flush hose. So I'm going to go do that. We keep a spare hose for the black water flush. So it's connected over there to our Y that we have for the fresh water. And this hose here connects into one of the ports and the other one's for the fresh water. So now it's going to go turn it on. As soon as I turn it on, because the black is pretty full, I'll pull the black valve right away and let the pressure from the black valve or the drain hose go into the black tank and start flushing. So you always want to flush the black first and then do the gray tank to basically wash out the sewer hose. I just pulled the black lever hose over there to allow the black tank to start draining. We'll be right back with after this flushes here. Take a little bit. That's had time to fully drain out. So the black tank is completely empty, but now we're just going to push the black valve back in and let the black tank fill up to do one more wash. I usually do about 3 to allow the tank to fill up and flush. Usually gets a lot of the toilet paper out. You want it to be mostly mush when it comes out. Over time, when it fills up, it does that. But right now, it's just constantly draining out. So we're going to push the black valve in and let that tank fill up. We have a Grand Design Imagine 2600 RV, and it comes with the Compass Connect, One Connect from Lippert, and we use that. It's actually my phone, but we're filming on my phone right now. So what it does allows us to monitor the tank levels. You can go inside and watch the dots, which I will do for this since we're filming and I'm using my phone as the camera. So we'll use the screen inside to monitor the tank levels and know when the tank is full. Usually when it gets to 4 dots, that's full. I usually don't let it go too far past the 4th dot and then pull the lever again and let it get a rush of water back out. So we'll wait for that, and as soon as it fills up, we'll continue on. So I do want to mention, I'm not wearing gloves right now. I do have gloves. I usually use gloves when I'm touching the sewer hose itself. I don't use the gloves for the flush hose or the valve to just keep the contamination down. When I do anything with the actual sewer hose is where I use gloves. Some of the things that we do have that are very handy are these electric cord reels. I actually got this at Harbor Freight. They're very inexpensive, and with the flat hose, they work really well to coil up the hoses and keep them in storage underneath. So, and then this is also some places require you to have the sewer hose stand to allow the flow to be very smooth and all the way down. I've never had to use it. I always just make sure that the out is higher than the in, and haven't had any problems. And it just makes it easy when you go to flush. You can kind of like shake the hose around. You'll see me do that here in a little bit. Shake the hose around and allow all the stuff in the hose to drain down into the sewer hole. So we'll just wait for this to fill up and we'll be back. We're back. It's almost full, and I actually switched phones here so I can show y'all exactly what the tanks look like on the app. So here is the Compass Connect, and then we'll push Compass Connect and wait for it to load. And then on the app shows battery voltage, allows you to do some controls of the RV right from your phone, which is very handy, especially in rainstorms. You can actually open and close the awning, and so you don't get wet. You kind of have an instant porch. But as you see here, black tank is getting full. And then once it gets to 4, just like that, we will go ahead and pull the black valve and let the rush come down through, and cleans the sides and cleans inside the tank. We also have this product here, which is RV Digested. We used this for a while, and then we found we actually had better luck just using borax and essential oils. Just put a little lavender essential oils and some borax down in the toilet as we do this process, and it keeps the smell down. Really don't have any issues with smell just using those 2 simple products, which are really cheap. This stuff can get expensive for how much they want you to put in and how often. So we just put some simple borax in there and essential oils. Works really well. We also updated our valve cap to allow this garden hose connection. We just found it was a lot easier for some things that we do when we're RVing. Connect a hose to it if we need to, just to drain out some stuff when we're doing a flush and that. So it works really well. So our flow has stopped. Again, we're gonna see how much is in there, touch the hose, always put a glove on. So it seems pretty slow, so we're gonna push the valve back in and wait for the tank to fill up a little bit more, and we'll do it for the 3rd time. Usually about the 3rd time, all the water in the tank's clear, and that's really what you're looking for, to make sure that everything's come out and there's nothing sitting in there just getting old. So I'm taking you to show you what it looks like over here. This is the black valve here. That's what we have for black valve. And then here's our gray valve. You notice that one's open. So that's for our shower and our bathroom sink. So we use this only for shower water and for the sink. We don't pour anything down there. It's just soap. So we actually leave that valve open. So every time we shower, we don't really have to worry about it. Just more like a house. And we don't have to stress that the tank's going to overflow and back up into the shower or sink. But with that, we don't put anything down it. Haven't had any issues with it smelling or anything like that. So that is pretty clean. There's nothing in that tank. And then we'll walk up front and show you the front kitchen sink valve. And this valve right here is the kitchen sink. And that one we do keep shut so we don't get any smells. There's just stuff that, food and that kind of stuff that we try to not put too much down there, but it does get down there. So that does get a little smelly. So we'll flush those here in a little bit and, or drain them, I should say. We've only done one gray water flush when we were with my parents in South Dakota. Other than that, we haven't really had too much. And when we did it, not a whole lot came out that we were expecting, like a bunch of grease and, just stuff that builds up in the tank from just constantly using it as we do live in this. So we didn't really have any issues with that. And so we'll probably do it maybe twice a year just to keep it under control and make sure it doesn't build up too much. But we haven't had any issues. All of our gauges still read the same, and there's nothing built up in the tanks. And this is our last flush. The tanks was completely full to the 4 dots. The bar was full on the app, and just going to let that completely drain out, and it should be super clear. Let's go over and take a look, see how clear the water is. So there we are. We have all clear water coming out. So therefore, we'll just we'll wrap up. There's a few items, but we'll wrap up that fresh water. We won't be putting the hose away as we are at our permanent spot here. We'll move on to the grade drain, and that's just to clear. You always do that after the black, like I said before, just to make sure that there's nothing in the hose. So at this point, just for this, we will be using our gloves and make sure that everything comes out. I do it a few times. I just swirl the hose around as the kitchen sink. I usually do the kitchen first because that's the more dirty gray water. And then I will do the bathroom one because that's about clean water with soap. And that usually gets the hose really good, actually. And I'll know I do like this style gloves. These you can get them at any type of Tractor Supply. There's rubber gloves. They're better than the latex ones because I can put them on and take them off and reuse them, but I can get them on and off easily if I need to like switch what I'm doing. So if I have gloves on, usually everything gets contaminated at that point. Like even if you try not to, it will. It's almost at the point where you might as well not even wear gloves. You just wash your hands. But this allows to take them on, take them off. So if I need to like push the valve in or pull the valve out, then touch the hose, I can do that. And then I can just wash them off too. So works really well. So we have sink water is completely clear. So that's all set. So we're all done with that drain, and I'll just show you the fresh water here. So our fresh water, we have a 3/4 hose. We were just using a lot of these flat hoses. I can't remember the brand, but they just kept leaking. So we just went to the 3/4 inch hose. It's 75 feet, which is nice. So if we ever have to reach someplace, we have it. And it's designed to go into a 5-gallon pail. We just coil up and put it in a milk crate. But this hose we've had it for a couple months now and had no issues with it. You have fresh water coming into the Y, and then this is for the black tank flush. We have that going back. We take that off. We use it for other things too. It's doesn't get contaminated or anything like that. So, and then we have the pressure regulator. This is a filter that we don't need anymore. We have an internal filter system, but just haven't taken it off yet. And then it goes to a quick disconnect, which I highly recommend when you have plastic fittings. It's just a one and done. You don't have to keep threading on the plastic, taking off the plastic. So anywhere where we have a plastic fitting, we use a quick disconnect. We just got these off Amazon. Just make sure they have the rubber O-ring inside, otherwise they will leak. So, and then we go to the 0G hose, and we went to the 3/4 inch. Found a whole lot more success with a 3/4 inch garden hose that's rated for fresh water. The other ones that we had, same brand, 0G. The end, we actually use it for the blue. That's what was on that reel over there. But the blue just leaked. So we didn't want that just constantly leaking and wasting water and all that. So We have that 75 feet, which is the only disadvantage, but we use that, and then it comes up in and then connects. And again, where we have a plastic fitting, we also have a quick disconnect. So we use this to fill the tank, and then back to city water. So we use that, fills that, and then we have right here we have a freshwater dump. We don't really have to dump it too often. We sometimes just dump it to clean it out, just to get the stagnant water that's in there out. But we usually use it more to fill the dog bowls. So it works really well. Oakley's dog bowl just goes underneath, and we just pull the valve and fill the dog bowl. And that's his outside water. So works really well, and it allows us just to keep fresh water in the tank all the time. So that's a wrap. And thanks for joining. And we will catch you next week on Journey to Homestead. Thanks for watching.